new blessing. You will, cause you next. Blue bills and no stress. This your life, get to living. This is your life that you living. I pray that you will. New year, new blessings. No fear, no stress. No overextending. No L's, just lessons. No failures. No weapon that formed against you shall ever mess with your endeavors. No L's, just lessons. New mail, new questions. New money that's printing. New life, get to living. This a new year, that's a given. Welcome to the new year. They say you won't, but you will. Climbing over 2 hills. I love you just like Drew Hill. New year, new blessing. You will, cause you next. Blue bills and no stress. This your life, get to living. This is your life that you living. I pray that you will. New year, new blessings. No fear, no stress. No overextending. No L's, just lessons. No failures. No weapon that formed against you shall ever mess with your endeavors. No L's, just lessons. New mail, new questions. New money that's printing. New life, get to living. This a new year, that's a given. Welcome to the new year. They say you won't, but you will. Climbing over 2 hills. I love you just like Drew Hill. New year, new blessing. You will, cause you next. Blue bills and no stress. This your life, get to living. This is your life that you living. I pray that you will. New year, new blessings. No fear, no stress. No overextending. No L's, just lessons. No failures. No weapon that formed against you shall ever mess with your endeavors. No L's, just lessons. New mail, new questions. New money that's printing. New life, get to living. This a new year, that's a given. Welcome to the new year. They say you won't, but you will. Climbing over 2 hills. I love you just like Drew Hill. New year, new blessing. You will, cause you next. Blue bills and no stress. This your life, get to living. This is your life that you living. I pray that you will. New year, new blessings. No fear, no stress. No overextending. No L's, just lessons. No failures. No weapon that formed against you shall ever mess with your endeavors. No L's, just lessons. New mail, new questions. New money that's printing. New life, get to living. This a new year, that's a given. Welcome to the new year. They say you won't, but you will. Climbing over 2 hills. I love you just like Drew Hill. New year, new blessing. You will, cause you next. Blue bills and no stress. This your life, get to living. This is your life that you living. I pray that you will. New year, new blessings. No fear, no stress. No over.
Yo, what up? This your boy DJ Roby, aka Jada Barber.
And it's me, Vanessa B.
And welcome to this special edition of This is Bananas Podcast Talk Show with our special guest. I know him as my big brother, Byron.
Hey,
hey, what up?
Hey, first,
what up,
you know
Frack?
what I'm saying, in the house. What up, Frack?
What up, Frack?
Hey, thanks for having me on your show, man. I'm
Without
happy
a
to
doubt,
be here
man.
with you
It's
tonight,
always,
man. You and
hey,
Vanessa.
you know what, man? I tell you what, I finally get to get you because I think around this time last year we was trying to connect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But things didn't go as planned. But hey, man, here we are, right?
Here we are, man.
Another day.
Timing
Right.
is everything.
That's
Timing-
right.
Yeah, timing is
And
everything.
this is crazy, right? I'm glad that we here because we like family too, and we see each other at family functions. But
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Speaking of that, bro, I forgot, but then you just brought it up. Oh my God.
When we're down,
Oh my God.
no, I'm nosy.
Yeah, look, check it out, man. We was just at his auntie, right?
my niece.
Your niece. We was just at his niece's birthday party,
Okay.
and
What was the age limit?
oh no, these are grown folks.
Grown folks. Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they gave Byron a microphone, man, and he was supposed to do a prayer. And
man.
oh my God. What he do? Hey, he preached he prayed a whole sermon. I'm like, hey,
It's just a party, right?
hey, man. Oh my God. And then he said something that was real funny. I was like, Brian done spoke so much, man, he done messed up the words, man. Hey, look.
Man, I was rolling, man. I was
Hey,
in
you
the
was
zone.
rolling, you was in the
Hey,
zone.
but you know, she called me there in that capacity, man. You know, she called me there in the capacity of being an ordained reverend.
Yeah.
And you know, you right though. You know, you got to be careful when you
In the
give
crowd.
us a mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm not in that capacity today. Although I got a mic, I'm not in that capacity today. So don't worry.
I got
I'm
you.
following
You were
today.
trying
Not
to
leaving.
fulfill your duty. I feel that.
Yeah, that's what we supposed to do, right?
for
Yeah,
real.
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Might
man,
give
that
less,
was
for sure give more.
that was definitely funny because I was like, man, I thought my pops prayed long because I'm telling you, my pops. Hey man, we'll be getting ready to leave church, and they were like, okay, Elder Clemens, you got the last word. He gonna pray. We like, no. It's a whole nother 30 minutes. You know, we trying to get up out of here, man. You feel me?
Yeah, and that's why I found that sometimes
Hey, bring the mic
Thanksgiving.
up a little bit more, T.
Okay.
No, the mic right there. Bring the mic.
Okay, that's why I found that sometimes, dinner time, eating, Thanksgiving, they be like, nah, we don't want Reverend to pray. We don't want him to pray. We hungry,
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man, bro. Yeah, man, you showing up, bro, man. But I ain't mad at you, man.
I'm curious though. Has anyone ever cut you off?
No, I
that's
have
rude.
not. Yeah, no,
That's just
I have
rude.
not had that.
Okay.
I don't know if it's because they're being courteous, or if they're enjoying the prayers. But
Right, right.
it could be a little bit of both.
You
Yeah.
could get going,
Yeah.
But I do know several people, man. You get them a microphone and woo.
Yeah.
Hey, it's go time.
I try to be careful about that, right?
Uh-huh.
That because they say, as a preacher, we say we don't want to make you happy twice, right? Make you happy that we come up there, we preaching and speaking, praying or whatever, and then happy that we leaving, right? Right. So I try to avoid that last part. I try to
Gotcha.
avoid the latter. Yeah.
Yeah, no, man. But you definitely did a good job. It was just, I was just like, man, I gotta go talk to Big Bro, man, because it's funny. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
that's
Then
what's up.
then as frat, so I can understand the dig, we do that all the time.
My God.
That's the love. That's the love of the frat.
Yeah, man. So yeah, Frat, you are Alpha Phi Alpha.
Yes, sir.
Incorporated. 1906.
Yeah. 06.
Ice cold.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. What made you want to become an Alpha, bro?
But you know what? It was the community work that I was involved in, and one of the things I realized now I've been mentoring young men for like 20 years.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And I noticed when I moved out here to Elgin, in this Elgin area, I quickly become involved with the school system and working with students, trying to help to improve education and doing other things in the community, helping with voting and things like that.
Yeah.
And I noticed that even worshiping, right, at church.
Yeah.
And everywhere I went, I was rubbing elbows with an Alpha.
Gotcha.
Everywhere I went.
Yeah.
And I let me tell you this, it made such an impact on me and an impression on me because I know that there are other fraternities that
Yeah.
exist,
100%.
but I never see none of them.
Ooh.
I always seen
Ooh.
Alphas.
That's true.
And then somebody confirmed it. Somebody confirmed it for me. They was like, you got that alpha character like an alpha man. I was like, yeah, I am,
Yeah.
So that's what really motivated my pursuit.
I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? When I saw your name, when I saw you, I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? We had a time.
Yeah.
We had a time. You know.
As usual, as one can expect.
Yeah, we had. Especially when I found out it was you, I was like, oh, okay, I got big cuz over here. You feel me?
Yeah, no doubt. Me too.
Yeah, I just think that it was. I think it was very unique. I wish a lot of more brothers, can transition and look into, being part of a brotherhood, being part of something that has substance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot
Yeah.
of people look at sororities and fraternities like organized gangs and things like. But it's more to it than that, and that's not
Right.
That's not the basis. That's so far from what we're about.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Yeah, we got colors. Yeah, we got signs. Yeah, we got creeds. Yeah, we got all of that.
Right.
But we're here because we want to promote, go to school, go to college. We want to promote brotherhood. We want to promote manly deeds. And
That's right.
we want to
Scholarship,
and scholarship.
yeah.
We want to promote young men, basically transitioning boys to men.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of young men that's out here that's lost.
Right.
So before we even, get into, what we're going to be talking about today, which is the 2026 Alpha Project,
Right.
there was a few things that we were talking about off camera. I'm going to bring it up
Okay.
because it ties into brotherhood, fatherhood.
Right.
And y'all can correct me and check me if y'all feel like I'm wrong on this. So, in the articles this week, I was just reading about Deion Sanders, and everybody out there know how me and Deion Sanders roll. Yeah, we got the same birthday, bro. To be honest.
Oh, okay. All right. That's a fun fact right there.
Deion. Yeah. I'm not gonna say I dislike Deion as a man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know him as a man, as personally.
Okay,
You know
that's
what I'm
fair.
saying? Coaching wise, yeah. Everybody got some people. Everybody didn't like Phil Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody didn't like John Starks. You
Right.
know? But anyways, I'm going on to say this. It's a big thing between Shador right about now. Shador's all in the headlines and all these things. That's all you hear about.
Right.
Is Shador Sanders and the amount of money that he make, and then you got this other kid who had the
Shiloh?
No,
Junior?
Junior, who had well off media, right? You will see him going on social media from time to time, bragging about their house and this wing and that wing, yada yada yada. I'm like, y'all do live
Right.
you live in Texas, you do know this, right? And I don't know if you know about Texas, bro, but
Not much. I'm a Chicago West Side kid,
yeah.
but
And them fools in Texas got a lot of cake. A lot of cake. There's a lot of billionaires in Texas because
Okay.
the oil money.
Very true. It makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah.
So when you got $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, $1 million, that's not nothing to a multi-billionaire. You understand me?
Right.
Like, yeah, bro, put that chump change away.
Right.
But anyways, it was an article in the newspaper and going around about this money that Shador had made
Okay.
off of, I don't know, endorsements, whatever, and they was glorifying this whole thing. Deion Sanders talking about how proud he is of him, yada yada yada. But there is a small thing with Deion Sanders that really rubs me the wrong way.
Okay.
And maybe I gotta understand what it is that he don't pour into Shiloh how he pours into Shador, right? And so now Shiloh is in the media at the same time as these cats talking about how much money they just inquired on. My man is in the media for losing his possessions and his cars and stuff getting repossessed.
Right.
So how you see what they just did to the community in a sense? Like they got you bragging and boasting about how much money you got, but then when you 180 this whole picture, your son is down bad.
Right.
How do we?
That is a crazy picture.
Is that not a crazy
Yeah,
picture?
it is.
So we were talking about something off camera, and you guys were saying like hard love, tough love, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I want you guys' opinion about this. So what do you so when it comes to your opinion about this, what do you guys think? Like, what should have happened, man? As a father, do you let your son be down bad, or do you go rescue him because he's not a multimillionaire like your other kid?
He grown though.
Right.
He grown.
He
You
is
can help
grown.
somebody
Vanessa.
and then he could make you drown too. He could take you down with him. So like when you make the comment like he don't pour into one like he do the other, my thing is you don't know what the heart is on one compared to the other or the drive. Like one could actually want to get better and got his thing going on, and the other one could be just losing it.
Well, you know what?
So
to that point, right? To your point about losing it, Vanessa, I would say that I think right there's some validity to that because we all saw it.
Okay.
If you watch NFL football, right, you saw it when Shador was out there on the field. in a preseason game, like you losing it and messed up your rookie contract, right? Because of losing it, right? And not having the appropriate behavior, right? And knowing that you kind of just made it anyway, right? And so there could be some validity to that. But also, right, on the other side of that, excuse me, I say this, that while the headlines belong to Shiloh, but I would say that in the background, what's not in the headlines is what we don't see is that I think they care about their brother. They are a family, and I think that they probably have slid him something. You know, they slid him something on the side, but it's just not enough to, you know, prevent him from going into bankruptcy like that, right?
Okay.
And that's to your point, though, Vanessa. Is like, you know, they are family. They probably, you know, doing their thing, but you can't allow another family member that love to drag you down. Yeah. And I seen that. I seen that among other celebrity, professional, athlete, sports figures.
Okay.
Right? Now I throw one out there real quick, just say this, because I heard it come right off his mouth, Charles Barkley.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So if that's the case, why do we preach generational wealth? Because generational wealth means I'm going to work hard so my kids and they kids ain't got to.
Sometimes they messed it up.
Nah, he didn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't a mess up.
Sometimes they messed it up.
It wasn't a mess up though.
What Shiloh do to get himself in this predicament then?
He just
Ain't nobody else did that to him.
he wasn't the golden
That's
child.
not generational debt.
He wasn't the golden child. Because see,
That's
thing,
on him.
No, it's not on him.
Work harder.
No, he did. He was
Right.
check it out. Shiloh.
He was that
Shiloh,
safety tweaking.
Shiloh is the
Yeah.
oldest. Shiloh is the oldest.
Okay.
Right?
He's gonna set examples.
So this is what Shiloh did. Shiloh was at the University of South Carolina Gamecocks.
Okay.
He was recruited big time SEC Power 5.
Okay.
When Shador was not recruited big time Power 5. He was not. His dad did decide it because he seen where this was going.
Right.
To get into the ranks of college football so he could be his son's coach.
Okay.
Right? So he formulated a team. One of the first people he called was his own son. His son left that university that he was at to come help his father. You understand what I'm saying?
What you mean, at Jackson State?
At Jackson State.
Okay.
He came to help his father at Jackson State where he found home.
Okay.
Right.
So now that he found home at Jackson State, we all know what happened, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
They go to Colorado. They become multimillionaires. Well,
Overly famous.
Travis Hunter and Shador. Not so much Shiloh because Deion Sanders never marketed Shiloh like how he marketed Travis and Shador.
That's true, but again,
Well, I don't know, man.
This is a fact. Now this is a fact, but but this is his son. So he was supposed to go pro. He was supposed to go pro that first year after he got to Colorado. His daddy told him to stay. And guess what happened the next year when he stayed?
What was that?
He got injured.
Yeah.
So now his stock in the NFL plummets. Because he's out here playing injured. He still got to get into the league. His daddy ain't marketing him like how he's marketing Travis and Shador. So he's got to find his way into the league.
Well, I don't know, J-Ro.
I'm telling
you.
I'm not being biased. I'm taking all, and Shiloh was my guy. I'm taking all emotion out of it. And this is where I'm getting at with this.
Okay.
Shiloh was never the golden child. Shiloh has always been like treated like the stepchild. Because remember, he never wanted to go with Deion Sanders in the first place. When him and his mom split. He
Right.
wanted to stay with his mom, and he
Yeah.
got into a lot of trouble because he wanted to go back with his mom.
Okay.
You feel me?
Right.
So he went with his father. Meanwhile, we're talking about a person who says, "I'm building generational."
So it might be
wealth.
a lot of personal too. That's
So,
that's what I mean. It
but
be a
if
lot of
you-
stuff
Yeah.
going on at home. Like it's like I can't help you if you're not helping yourself.
But
some
but how
point.
much? So
I don't know if
when
this are
we-
facts, if this is the reason, but I'm just saying it's just like
When we say
don't
help
have
ourselves, when we say help, but anytime we sit up here, this is why I'm
No,
saying we
definitely.
gotta watch what we say about generational wealth, because generational wealth, realistically, isn't money, it's knowledge.
It could be. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Nobody's passing. I mean, unless you got trust funds like no
Right.
other. And my man ain't sitting here burning through money like that. You feel what I'm saying? He just sitting back, just like, okay, where do I fit in, right? Because he's not even like Junior.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now that my man is in a situation because things didn't happen for him as he projected it to happen.
Right.
But because my dad is over here flaunting how much money he got, how big his house got, my brothers, they're doing the same thing. And here I am like, yo.
let me get my shit
So
together.
let me right.
But what-
so
but-
let me say this. Let me say this because you said a whole lot. Let me chime in. I know this your show.
No,
but
no,
let me
you good. Talk
let me
to
share. Let me share this. So I think that just seeing the relationship right that Dion had with his kids, I think he cared about his kids. All of them. Now he may not have marketed Shiloh. I don't know about that. I can't speak to that. But let's say that that's factual, right? I would say that throughout their life, he provided for them,
Okay.
right? Knowledge as well as financially.
Okay.
Now let me tell you, I done seen Shiloh out there at safety, and I seen him. Man, I forgot the team that they was playing while he was at Colorado. It's hard to market him, man. You can't get you let a running back break you down, and he man, his body was wobbling,
Like-
right? He couldn't. Look, he
He
put a
acted like he
1-2
didn't
step
wanna
on
be
him,
there.
right? It's hard to market like
That's-
that, but
that's-
I
that's
would
the
say that
following year.
he still cared about his kids. Understand that getting there, especially a college student getting out of college, you rack up a lot of debt, right? And they had some money, and Dion taught them principles about being independent. So I feel like, hey, some of the onus is on Shiloh. I don't think everything is on Dion because he is an adult male, as Vanessa said.
So again, you're right, he is an adult male. But when we talk about generational wealth, if my dad acquires wealth and he said, I'm part of this wealth, why am I struggling? That doesn't make sense. Because
Why
it's
am I
Well,
not self-reflective?
Right, and
Why-
it may not be just one answer. It may be right. It may
So-
be because of multiple things.
so to your point.
Just his relationship with his daughter. His daughter got a baby with Jaquez, a singer.
That's the oldest one.
right, and he
But she ain't got
disagreed with
nothing.
that.
He ain't got nothing to do with her.
What do you mean?
He don't deal with her like how he deal with the youngest girl.
Because
Yeah.
I know I saw a clip of his where he straight up told her like, you know, I disagree with this man. Like, I don't approve of this relationship you got, so I can't really finance anything that you asking for. Baby shower, things like I'll be there, I'll
Right.
support you, I love you
Right.
like a dad, I'll protect you. But really, support, you got
Yeah.
the support.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So it's like at some point you gotta make a decision where it's like you grown, and if you making decisions
Right.
where it's definitely if I disagree or disapprove in what I've taught you as far as knowledge and wealth and all that, and if I taught you
Right.
to go against it, it's like
So how do we talk about generational wealth with limitations?
Well, I don't think it's limitations, but
there's-
I think it's like I was
Well,
just
like
saying.
you
I
said.
think it's stewardship, right?
There's limitations.
And
There's-
as well
there-
as what you said
conditions.
about knowledge.
Generational wealth with conditions and limitations.
but why is it expected? Just because I'm wealthy, either with knowledge, resources, finance, if I'm wealthy, why is it expected for me to have
Because what do we say? What do we always talk about in the black community? Generational wealth.
Right, which is
So
important.
it's see the thing about it is it's easy to say this stuff when you ain't got it. Cause when you do have it,
So here's the thing, right?
Totally different
got
realm.
conditions.
Right. So
and whatnot.
right. So
Rules
here's the
and
thing, right? Like for me, like professionally, I'm a financial advisor.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a financial advisor professionally,
Uh-huh.
and I talk to a lot of families about estate planning.
Okay.
Right. And so now you talking
you the
about
perfect one,
you
okay.
talking about limitations,
Okay.
right? Now, if I was to develop a trust, right? So let's think about that, or a will, right? It comes with limitations. Each child gets a portion, not one get everything.
Right.
Right? There's a limit.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a limit, it's baked in. Limitations are there. Now, the love I have is limitless, but you know, in terms of resources, it's limited.
And isn't there limits where it's like you get it if you completed school, or sometimes, right? They like if you
Yeah, you
completed
gotta-
school, or if you've done this, or if
Right, you give them something to reach for. You have to. Yeah, you have to.
I get that. I
So
get
it's
that,
like-
and I respect that, Ness, 100%. However, in a situation, you know, my man ain't like those others, but he rocked with you. He stayed with you. He didn't have to stay. He sacrificed himself to make you look good, and you couldn't look out for him. And this is factual because
I don't
listen,
know that he didn't though.
I know that because he was supposed to go to the league in 2024, but he didn't. His daddy wanted him to stay a 6th year, so he stayed a 6th year, and that's when he got injured. And then now psychologically on the football field, you played with an injury, man. You know you
Right.
like I got to get out here, but in your mind you still kind of like, okay, I
Healing.
gotta. I'm healing, right? You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? You
Right.
psychologically, you know. So his mind was psychologically gone, but he's still
Okay.
out here trying to play.
So let
feel
me ask you this,
So
right?
now my man is down bad, but he's down bad, but they over here flaunt millions of dollars.
So
that's
so
crazy to me.
let's take this other family.
Okay.
For example, on this same type of subject, right? There's multiple children.
Okay,
Father's a professional athlete.
okay,
They were taught principles at home,
okay,
right? Raised up in a 2-parent household,
okay,
right? They grew up in wealth,
Okay.
grew up in fame, and the father made some decisions and said, "Here, I don't want you to go to the league, but I'm gonna provide for you, let you, right? Now, I'm finna drop the name on you. Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Right, you know. And his son, Marcus Jordan, out of all of that, it didn't prevent him from getting in trouble when, you know, sliding down the hill himself, going to Vegas, getting locked
Yeah.
up, right? Trying to name drop, right? And it didn't work for him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so we haven't heard from him since. I don't know what happened to him, but
Good example.
that was a good example, right?
Well,
Like for
it
real.
It was, but it wasn't. But yeah, go ahead.
But okay, how okay. Right. Okay. Right. And so we haven't heard from him. We don't know. But name dropping. Right. He also had limitations on what was given to him. Right. But it didn't stop him from, you know, having bad behavior and misbehaving. So
Yeah.
man, it's decisions on his own. Sometimes people just gonna be people, bro.
People are going to be people, but in Marcus Jordan case, he was abusing drugs. That's why he drove his car down the train tracks.
Right.
And like, hey, where were you going, bro? You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Your car's stuck on the train tracks. My man don't have the
And that was the
issues.
second time too, by the way. That was the second offense too, by the way.
But we ain't looking. But you don't see Michael Jordan. You don't see Michael Jordan in the public like, yeah, bro, I'm a multi-billionaire. Look at me. It's all about the money, baby.
Right. Nah.
He's not-
You don't see him
he's
out there
not
like
doing
that. Right.
So when you put yourself in a situation and you're constantly drawing attention to yourself about what you have, bro, people are going to say things about you when stuff is messed up.
Right. Well, that's
So
true.
it could be,
you know.
it could be several cases of this happening right now, but we never know.
Right.
But because you out here talking about what you got and how well you got it, and then they say, okay, but check this out. Your son over here down bad. Now what you gonna do, nigga?
Yeah, so I mean that's how it is, right? That's how it is, and that's very true. A lot of athletes live in a glass house, right? Because their contracts to get to that money requires them to be in a glass house,
Yeah.
right? And so and they get used to that, right?
I just can't.
In which Deion Sanders himself still coaching, right? His son Junior wasn't like the athlete type or whatever.
But yes,
Shadur,
he was. Yes, he
but
was.
Shadur Sanders, right? Now he got. Let me tell you. I'm gonna say this too. Right? And Vanessa, hear me on this, right? Shadur Sanders got to be careful how he's spending money, right? Because he barely, right, getting there himself, right? Like,
But too, yeah.
right? He on thin ice too. He ain't in no secure type environment, right? Where he gonna have constant income coming in, right? So he got to be counting his nickels too, right? So he got to be careful with how he spend and what he share. Now, and both of them, to that point, Deion Sanders and Shadur Sanders, they both still living in that glass house under them contracts, and you got to talk to the media, right? Now you can't control what you say. Right, you can't control what you say, because I was hard like that on Derrick Rose when he was in the league, right? And I heard Derrick Rose say they passing out all this money out here in the NBA. I want some of that money for. I was like, whoa, like okay, like bro, like you know, so damn for a minute, D. You know? And so man,
Still feel that way?
nah, D Rose, he you know, I feel like he got his piece, so he cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I just feel like, man, when we talk about when we talk about generational wealth, we have to really understand what that means.
Yeah.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And again, it's easy for somebody who ain't got it to sit up here and say, hey, man, I'm going to teach generational wealth. But what is generational wealth? Wealth is health, man. You teach your kids health. You give them knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
That's
to
right.
pass down from generation to generation. You know, not the finance, because the finance will come and go. And I'm
Right.
saying that right now because Jay-Z was supposed to have been a billionaire, but they claiming that the man is broke. And I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I don't know. I heard the same thing about Michael Jackson though. Michael Jackson, you know, was a
understand what I'm
billionaire and then
saying?
he broke. Yeah.
So you like, wait a minute, these cats is billionaires, but they broke. But I know
Yeah,
you a millionaire, and
Right.
you understand what I'm saying. So it's like, if
it's
if
probably
a
the
person,
way the account set up. You know, see, their account is set up like this, and so you know, maybe that's what it is. You know,
I
like
can't see a person being broke and you a billionaire, bro. There's something happened. Or are you a billionaire in assets and not liquid? I mean, are you maybe you have
I've heard that.
hundreds of millions
Yeah.
of dollars assets, like
Right.
in hedge funds and,
I believe that's what it is on paper and net worth.
and on paper and net worth.
And net worth, right.
But liquid, because a lot of folks don't understand that, B,
Right.
that there is a difference between your assets and and liquids.
And liquid, right.
You understand what
Right.
I'm saying? So a lot of people got stuff on paper.
And that's coming up too for Elon Musk right now with his company SpaceX going public.
Yeah.
SpaceX going public, right? And they saying, oh yeah, he'll be the first trillionaire. Yeah, but it's on paper. It's
on
just
paper.
it's net worth, not actually in his pocket in his bank account. It's just net worth. You know, when you really using the public money,
Yeah.
right? You got to be accountable for that. So
I had real quick. I was thinking of something as an example when you talk about generational wealth and knowledge. Because I remember my first apartment. My mama used to tell me every month pay my rent. I didn't pay my rent.
Come on, why would you not pay your?
I got put out my first apartment.
Yeah.
My mama was telling me all through the way, and then when it came down to them being like, "No, you need to pay this, so you gotta get out," she didn't give me no money to help me. She told me every month to pay my rent.
yeah, see, that's
I'm
a real
saying.
life example. Now, J. Rowe, we can
Tell somebody over
right.
and over, so you can get them all the knowledge, and then they could be an adult and make their own decisions by themselves. You can't build them
And see,
out.
and how old were you?
I was like 21.
About the same age, Shiloh
21.
right now, right?
No.
Shiloh, he a little bit older,
Shiloh
right?
was like 27, 28 years old. man.
Still,
Okay, still in his 20s though,
Yeah.
I
right?
just got my
and
first
that makes it
credit
that
card
right,
2 years ago.
right. That makes it even worse for him because he should be a little bit more mature.
Well, it's not. It's again.
Good
It's not.
expect.
He's not in a position because he did something stupid. That's not the reason why we're here. He's just here because he played football all along and there was nothing else for him to do. He was projecting.
Financially.
He was supposed to go pro, and that was supposed to be his way out. His
Not
check.
supposed to go pro. He did.
He was supposed.
He was there.
No,
He was in the
got-
pads.
He was in the pads, but he went.
He was on the field.
He went undrafted.
Right. He went undrafted. Right.
Right. So he went undrafted. So nothing was guaranteed. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
that's the main point that I was making early on. You gotta have the right behavior. When you are just barely getting in and you're skating on thin ice, you gotta calm that temper, right? And sometimes you gotta swallow a lump of coal. You know, the guy said something to him, hit him, and then you like going at the guy. Number one, the guy did something to him one time in one play, and then the second play, then he went back at the guy. It's like you gotta let that go,
Yeah, so-
right? You gotta let that go, right? You gotta be thinking,
for sure.
right? Yeah,
Well,
definitely.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna flip it back on us because we just
Okay.
had a conversation before camera about the expectations of vice versa, of putting
Right.
our kids in a position as such, and do we expect as parents to be looked after?
I think a lot of parents now, because you in this circuit, you I'm saying, both,
Right.
well,
Right.
you haven't got there just yet.
Right.
This high school circuit,
On my
you in
way.
this,
Right.
bro, it's insane of what's
It's-
going on.
Yeah, it's crazy
It's
right now.
insane
Yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah.
My son in 8th grade, and I'm trying to put him in a better position to be ready for high school because
Oh
I
yeah,
already know.
yeah,
man.
you on your way.
Yeah,
Yeah, you on your way.
And,
You
and when
gonna
I
see.
say it's insane, that's like I was at a football game last fall, and the boy got injured on the football field. The mama ran out from the stands on to the field.
Yeah,
No,
that's what we do.
no. This is high school football. If your son is injured, they would take care of him. They'll bring him to the sideline. There is no reason why your ass should be on the football field like you're what do you call that? The nurse's aide with
Yeah,
the people
yeah.
that the trainer.
Yeah, the trainers.
Why
Yeah.
is you?
Yeah.
And all he did was
But
I
I'm
don't
a
know,
teen mom, so that's probably why I
twist
do
his
it.
ankle or something, and was out for 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that because these parents. They want to
They get in the way.
They so overly overstepping and it's my son. They got the
She
shirt
was probably
on.
looking at her
Sometimes you don't
ROI
have
going down.
But sometimes you don't have the trust in the people that's with them, which is a bad thing.
What's she gonna do?
Comfort.
Comfort.
Well,
She
that's
never
what moms
comfort.
do though,
That's
for
all
real.
you
That's
can
what
think of.
we
If
gotta
my
draw
child
the
is in
line.
distress. My child is in distress.
No, he wasn't in distress.
I have to make sure. And so I don't know. My
no.
heart, like I can't just.
She probably saw her future deflating. Like,
That's
hey,
exactly what it is, bro. Her investment is on this
Oh my
football.
gosh, no, for real. The heart drops. Like we can't sit out.
Right.
The daddy,
Can't sit out.
the daddy was just embarrassed. The daddy was just embarrassed. He was just looking like,
Right.
That is though.
Right.
I have to think. I say because I'm a teen mom, so I'm already on the sideline, so I just run out. But that is overstepping and overdoing it. And I've had other parents like try to stop a parent from trying to run out because it's
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
You're right though. There's really nothing that you can do. I'm just thinking in the mindset of a mom that you really just worry. You just think.
And you
Something
got-
extreme happening, and then a lot of times it'd be because they don't have the trust in the people around them that they're taking care of them as they should be, which is not a good thing because why are they on the team?
Right.
But
Yeah,
I've
very
heard that
true.
though. Sometimes they don't have trust in the staff.
So if they don't have trust in the staff, again, I bring that back around to what are
Yeah.
you gonna do?
Yeah, no, for real. Parents do
Right.
be in the way.
They're in the way.
Parents be in the way for sure.
Because they want
sure.
a piece of this ticket.
Sure.
And I don't give
Right.
a damn what a whole lot of them say
Right.
because a whole lot of them say,
Right.
well, if my kid make it, they don't owe me nothing. Man, come on.
Right.
Come on. It ain't too many of them because
Yeah.
you're gonna put a guilt trip on your kid. Well,
Right.
you know, he used to move around and this and that. You know.
Well, I want to. You're right. So you led me into Vanessa's question. Like, do we expect that? Not. I do. Expect, and I think most parents do expect their children to show appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how that appreciation shows
Right.
when you make it, you know what I'm saying? Like I adore those stories, man. I seen the guys, make it to the NBA and they turn around and buy their mama a house or pay all the bills. I adore those stories, and I'm like, I just need to hear a little bit more about what y'all doing for dads.
Yeah.
Like, man, do that.
Yeah, for real.
Show that
If
appreciation.
he
For
there,
real.
if he there,
For
dad
real.
gonna be on this. You know what I'm saying? But that's just a bond between dad and son.
Right.
And I don't know if dad has an expectation. I think dad just want to be in the fold.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do, right? Like I talk to my son about that, and it's like, hey man, just give me some tickets. Let me get on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, I want to be there at the games with you. Like when we was kids. Like when you was a kid. I was there. Yeah.
For
I don't
sure.
think the dads go into it with money. That's bad, bro. Because oh my God,
That's true.
I just had
I
an
think
epiphany,
mom-
man. Like I just had a real epiphany. Like, wait a
Women are more
minute.
materialistic.
Wait a minute.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, share that.
Sometimes the expectations though can turn into like negative. Like I've seen parents get upset that their child don't have what it takes. Like
Right.
want them to work harder, do better for them. Like
Right.
just for self, like you said,
Right.
selfish reasons. of
Oh
wanting
man,
to
that
be
sounds
better,
like
to
some
look out for
employee
them.
type stuff, right?
I've seen it, and the child, you could see the child, see them every day that they probably truly don't want to be here. They
Right.
truly probably don't want to be here. Probably got the bill for it, or probably athletic for it, and know
Right.
how to do it, but the heart, you can't teach heart.
Right. Very
But
true.
The epiphany that I just had was stuff that we always talk about on the show.
What?
Women like to be taken care of.
Oh,
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
hate when you right.
So
I hate when you right.
hey, the daddy ain't
true.
doing it. The son is the next one
right,
up.
yeah, next
to go
one up.
ahead and this is son is gonna take care of me.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
Cause that's my boy.
but see, here's
That's
the
crazy.
reality of it, and you're a financial advisor, and you know these things. These guys, these girls, these athletes, they will get their parents these things.
Right.
But see, here's the thing. They can get their parents these things, and their parents will be worse off than what they were before.
Right.
Because see,
That's true.
I can buy you a Range Rover, Vanessa, but you got to keep the maintenance
You
up
gotta
on this
keep it
Range.
up.
You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't keep the maintenance up on this Range Rover.
That's
Right.
what I mean.
I just bought mom $1 million house, and she
Right.
can't take care of $1 million house.
Right.
And
yeah,
then she
for
turning
sure.
it and expecting you to do everything.
No.
Expecting you to take care of the maintenance, expecting you to do this, expecting you
Right.
to do that.
But I
And
bought
then
Yeah,
when
that's
you
true.
tell somebody, sometimes it gets sticky because then you expecting all these things. And what if I say no? What if I say either I can't do it
Right.
or that's not what I want to do? I don't have to because you asking.
So I
have to.
recently, and to your point, J. Robe, that high school sports is really crazy, and it's gotten crazier with some of the recent laws here in the state of Illinois that they allow high school students to get paid off their NIL. Right. And so I recently became certified in NIL and as a financial advisor. And that's one of the reasons why I've done that, because when you start putting money in young people's hands and families that's not ready for it, it usually turns into debt almost immediately. Right. And, and they need some guidance with being able to grow that wealth, maintain that wealth, and be able to take care of the responsibility correctly. Yeah.
I heard just a fun fact. I heard the other day that dollar stays in the black community for 24 hours, but in other communities it stay within 7 days.
Well,
That's interesting.
It might could
That's
because
interesting.
we
My
don't
Uncle Roger told me that the other day.
we spend money differently. It's just a mentality that black folks have.
We'll go spend it elsewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
It's just a
yeah.
mentality that black folks have because
But growing that
it's-
wealth up.
I don't know. You can even teach it, and they still gonna be like this because that's just who
You
we
can tell
are.
everybody this.
Yeah.
And be like, let's change it, and it's still, bro.
And that's I would say that's a systematic problem, right? It's systemic, right? Because some of these systems, man, they wasn't built for us, right? Real talk, they wasn't built for us. They was built, outside of us, right? And we trying to fit into that. Right. And so, and man, I got to tell you, man, I just feel like we have the feeling of the need to be normal, right? Like, man, like this normal, right? Like having money, being a part of the system, that it's normal. We want to have that feeling.
Yeah. So with that being said, and we're talking about systemic things and wanting to feel the need. You know what I always thought about was our founders for the Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay.
1906.
Yes,
Right?
sir. Yeah.
Ithaca, New York.
Mm.
Right? Cornell, was that Cornell?
Yeah, Cornell
University, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Schools were segregated,
Challenging times.
but they got degrees.
Yes.
They was there,
Right.
big time degrees.
Yep.
I always thought about like, but here's the thing that got me, because if we talking about 1906, which means they grew up in the 1800s,
Right.
which is and they're one generation removed from the Emancipation Proclamation.
Right.
No. Juneteenth.
They're both of them.
Yeah. The Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
One just years removed.
Right.
But they said that if black folks knew how to read and write, they killed them. And it always baffled me with this fun fact, not just with just them, because I
Right.
thought about them, but it was many more. If in 1906, these brothers was in their 20s.
And they were some young guys. Yeah, they were young.
They were
Yeah.
20s. Who taught them how to read and write? And how
Right.
they get, because they had to have a teacher.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, bro,
Yeah.
it's
And knew how to. Now you know, I'm gonna tell you to that point, right? Like one of our founders, Eugene Kiku Jones, right?
Uh-huh.
His father was a professor, and he's like, wow.
wait a minute.
Yeah.
See?
And Henry Arthur Callis, his father was a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them, their father was like a business owner. I'm like, man, like they was thriving in the 1800s.
In the 1800s. But the story is told that black folks couldn't read or write.
Right. Well, and that was still true though. That was true, but it was, now let me tell you, that was more so in those southern, colonistic states, right?
Uh-huh.
More in the southern states is where that was more prevalent at.
Okay.
Right, and I researched that, and I learned that because I had the same question, bro. I was intrigued, right? And it's not only, now let's we're talking about fraternity, sorority, but it wasn't only us,
Right.
right? It was others as well. There's some of the other fraternities that kind of came behind us as well, and those that were at Howard University. It's like, wow, and so you got to think about that, right? And it's like, man, where did they come from?
Where did they come from? Howard University was in existence, and you got a whole campus full of black kids
Right.
that can read and write.
Right. And it begs the question, like, man, how did they do that?
How
When
did-
we were taught that we was like we weren't, our folks weren't, allowed to read and write. And so it was just a small.
Somebody got to change this. I need to know the truth
Right.
of this story. Ness, I'm
But-
sorry, I got to know the truth of this story. Like, seriously, bro.
Right.
Like, were we sitting there, and that's why I made a
like
post
not
last
knowing.
week. Like, it's like, have we been lied to this whole time about systemic things?
Right.
But I just heard Dame Dash just say, hey, y'all been trained to listen to what the white man told you.
Yeah, that's.
You understand what I'm
it-
saying?
Right.
So
That-
he's been telling us this the whole time, and it's not the truth.
Not totally. It was true for a region. It was
Okay.
true for a region, right? And it mainly, right, like Mississippi, I know for sure.
Yeah,
right.
my father come from Mississippi. My uncle from Georgia, and it still baffles me. My father had like a third grade, maybe sixth, and that was
Right.
common.
Right, it was common.
Nobody
Right.
went no more
Right.
than the sixth grade,
Right,
bro.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how my
But
folks were
he-
too,
he
from
can
Mississippi,
Work
yeah.
on cars. He knew he can fix cars. Then he ended up being a carpenter. I don't know how he ended up being a carpenter because hell, I can't read a ruler. I can read a
Right,
ruler, but
right.
I man, that the measuring.
Right.
Bro, I've been told some stuff.
Like for real though, with the right,
Like my brother,
and
like
in
my
light of the
brother
tools that we have,
Tyrone.
right?
You
Yeah.
understand? He can, man.
Oh, yeah,
if you
he
can read
wicked
a
with it.
ruler, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah. But but to your point, like with the tools and education system that we have available to us now, they didn't have that then. It's like, wow, how you do that?
How
No,
you do
for
that?
real.
Right. That's some for real ingenuity right there.
Some for real ingenuity about that, and once again, the Americas was built on the backs of. Don't get me. Don't follow me when I say. It was built on the backs of blacks. And
Right.
I'm saying blacks because I'm not going to say it's slaves because
Right.
everybody wasn't a slave.
Okay.
But that's the
Right.
story that was told
That
to
was
us.
perpetuated, right?
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we're gonna get into everything and just shortly. I just gotta share this because I don't think a lot of people ask enough questions to understand that a lot of things was misinterpreted to us for whatever
Right.
reason or another, maybe to put fear in us or something like that, and
Right.
saying, "Oh yeah, all black people were slaves," and that's why they have a hard time with reparations because all black folks weren't slaves,
Right.
so they can't identify who were slaves versus who weren't
Who was it? Yeah.
to get reparations because there were already blacks here. There was voyages to the Americas well before Christopher Columbus. I mean, shoot,
Okay.
man, you understand? It was
Right.
There's black people everywhere on this earth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
For
it's
sure.
just
Facts.
American black. So they did have 300,000 slaves come from the West Indies, Caribbeans, and what you want to call that Latin America type stuff.
Right. Okay.
That came up.
Right.
And yeah, they did get dispersed. And I just did some research about how many cities, suburbs, towns are in the United States. It counts to be like 19,950.
Okay.
Now, if I was to do the math and say, okay, out of the 50 states, let me just divide 50 by the 300,000 divided by 50. You come out with like small.
A small number, yeah.
Small numbers.
Yeah.
Like if we in Dundee, there's like one black person. There's
Right.
another in Algonquin. There's two in Elgin. You understand?
Right,
You understand
right.
what I'm saying? Then
Right.
we're talking about all through all 50 states, and there's 300,000 people.
Right.
Bro, there's 150,000 people in Elgin, and there's probably 100,000 people in South Elgin and in Schaumburg. I mean, St. Charles.
Okay.
Way more than that's not a lot of people.
Right.
When you think about
Right.
the whole entire United States.
Right. That's a small number.
That's a small number.
Right.
So now I'm saying that there were black people here because that's why the population is what it was with the black people around. But everybody said that everybody was slaves, but they weren't. They weren't.
Right.
Have you ever been to New Orleans?
Yeah.
Okay. Think about the city of New Orleans. How it was made up. Because New Orleans was very big in slavery.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Very big. All you had to do is go outside of New Orleans, probably like 20 minutes, bro, and there's plantation
But I know
houses.
it's a diverse culture there, though.
There's plantation houses everywhere. And they look like Ann Street. That's how they're set up.
Okay.
And I think New Orleans might have the most because they're all along the Mississippi River, bro. And they had
Okay,
some
right.
of the big ones, the Whitney House, the Whitney Plantation, yeah, the Whitney was like one of the biggest ones in the South.
Yeah.
You know, then there was another big one that just burnt up. So these people might have had maybe 200 slaves.
Right.
So if they only had 200, everybody else had like 4 or 5 of them.
Right. And I could see that too. That's plausible to me because they are neighbors to Mississippi. They like direct neighbors of Mississippi. Right down there in the Gulf.
Yeah, we said we got to guess that some slave masters did allow their slaves to learn to benefit them. It was necessary for slaves to read for the jobs they performed for the slave owners. And she said, and free blacks often accessed education. Also remember, some slaves were securely educated. Yeah, that is true, and I think a lot of the ones that were brought over,
Love
they
it.
they weren't stupid neither.
Right.
These are skilled laborers. Because you just think about like how buildings
Right.
and stuff is made. You know, these people didn't have education,
Right.
but in order for
Right.
me or you to use our hands, and we may know how to do this,
Right.
we have to go get a certificate
Right.
instead
Right.
of them just. You honest?
Right. Yeah. Got an interview, pass the background check. It's a whole lot going on now.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm sorry, but it all ties into the building of brothers. You have this we have an Alpha Project
Right.
2026. You want to tell us about your Alpha Project and the chapter that you represent?
Right. Yeah. So for sure. So yeah, we having the Alpha Project, Project Alpha, out here in Elgin this year, June 27th. We partner with the Boys and Girls Club here, the Boys and Girls Club of Northern Illinois. That encompasses Elgin, South Elgin, the clubs that they have in Schaumburg and some of the other surrounding suburbs. Now, Project Alpha, just to give a little bit of history here so that folks know, right? Project Alpha was founded in the 20th century by our fraternity. You know, man, amen. You know that because it was. We have found that some of those principles that because of the educational system, they have to focus on the basics of education, right? Fluency in reading, math, and comprehension, right? But then there are some aspects of human life that's left out, right? And teenagers, we often kind of unguided and need some direction, right? That immaturity, it comes with growing up. And so we found that in our community, in the 20th century, we found that a lot of our young men didn't understand malehood responsibility, didn't understand how to manage their emotions in a relationship, right? And so, and now Project Alpha is that advocate in the community to teach our young men skills that can't be taught at school, which is things like that male responsibility, right? And also how to conduct yourself as a male in a relationship, right? How to conduct yourself and your responsibility towards women, right? How to respect women, right? And sometimes some difficult emotions arise in a relationship, right? Between a man and a woman, right? And we teach them how to manage that. Right, we teach them how to manage that so that they can be good, productive citizens of our society, right? To themselves, right, as they get older, to their wives and women as they grow to start growing families, and we can have strong Black families in our communities, right? And so we also mentoring and talking and educating them on things like sexual transmitted infections and diseases and how to protect themselves from that. And also, how to get tested on that type of thing to make sure that they are, as we just talked about, making sure that they are taking care of their health, right? Passing that legacy on of health. And then, so those were some of the core values that was started by our fraternity in the 20th century. But since the evolution of our society has grown and more aspects of life have come into play, so we expanded those topics to things like engaging with law enforcement. Right, we don't want to see,
which is very much important.
Exactly, right. We don't want to see any more of our young men laying on the ground with a knee in their neck, and you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff. We don't want to see those images, right? And so we want to, as a fraternity, one of our missions in advocating for our community is teaching our young men how to engage safely with law enforcement. Right. Nothing is perfect, nothing is foolproof, but at least we want to help and be a stopgap. Right. And so, man, we're happy to be partnering with the Boys and Girls Club on this. They saw the vision and what we was doing, and they wanted to come along and support us. And so, man, we all excited about that, bro.
Yeah, without a doubt. I'm just sitting here listening to you talk about it, and it took me back to when we talk about regulating our emotions and things like that, we were at a Project Alpha. It was at Larkin High School. Nessa, you might have been in the same room with me.
Marion, just real quick, Marion was just talking about that, and he was mentioning about when they talked about not making girls feel bad about speaking on kissing and stuff with your, like what you did with the girl to your friends and stuff.
Right.
And that was a situation with his friends, and he was like, "Cause remember we went to that man thing and me."
Yeah.
And he was talking about that.
I love it.
So there was a guy in there, and one of the brothers asked him to look up a word. Man, I forget what word it was, and my man became abrasive when asked to look it up, like, cause the dude did not know what the word meant,
Okay.
So the brother was like, "All right, brother. So you say you this or you say you that. Then look. Do me a favor, on your phone, look it up." And my man became like, "Joe, I told you I ain't looking that up." So the brother kind of had to divert the situation because the dude realistically didn't know how to actually go on his phone and research
okay.
what he needed to know.
Yeah, that made him feel a little defensive. Right.
So but I think he was damn near a grown man, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we talk about regulating our emotions, man, I think that's very important. And I think that's something that it should be talked about more often, especially as men, because men, they do hold back a lot. You know what I'm saying? They don't really talk a lot. And when a man do get emotional, especially with a woman, man, they can go bad real fast.
It can go bad fast. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that point up, right? And so that you just made me think about another area of life that we expanded Project Alpha to cover, and that's mental health.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's one of the topics that we're going to be covering on June 27th. Right. We're going to be covering mental health and how to have sound mind, how to have a sound mind and sound decision making. Right. And so we try to help with that process. Right, like I said, ain't nothing foolproof, but I'm sure enough happy to get some to get a testimonial. You know what I'm saying? That hey, we are making an impact, and these young people are listening.
And it's definitely needed. It's definitely needed. Like especially a lot of the little young boys on a football field. Just seeing the transition from them from last year to this year. Last year they was 12. This year now they teens. They 13. And just how they speak to each other, how they feel about themselves. A lot of down, like they put each other down, they put themselves down. It's just like everything's so negative and just angry to them. And like even just personally on my own son, remember I had told you he was cussing everybody out on the sideline. Like he was so frustrated about just the games, things that he really couldn't control, and he couldn't control his emotions. He was valid in his point and his emotions, but he didn't know how to express that. The way he expressed it, everybody just disregarded it because that's too loud, too disrespectful.
And, I was just I was coaching for you came to some of the games. So I was coaching for the South Elgin High School flag or 7-on-7 football team just this past season, and now I've seen some of that. Right, I've seen some of that young men, and I think that's why it's important for us, men that have navigated that system and navigated that atmosphere, and to turn and do the things like Project Alpha, and then still be out there in the community coaching football, because it give us that exposure to be right there, and I talk to the young men. I give them a pregame speech all the time, and I tell them you can't beat down one another because you're going to help the other team, right? And so, and they kind of they really grasped on to that, and started being encouraging to one another, right? And understanding. I told them, hey man, look, I want you to be fired up. I want you to play with a chip on your shoulder, but you got to know how to manage that, right? Keep that on the field, right? And you can't take it out on your teammates. Things not gonna go right all the time, right? And I told them, and I think it set them at ease too, because I say, look, I don't expect a perfect game. I don't expect y'all to be perfect, because none of us are perfect. Right, but I do expect you to play hard and play for your heart. I want to see your heart and how you think about yourself, right? And them young men, they gravitated to that, right? They was like, man, they got out there and they won that game for me, you know. And I was like, man, that's what's up, you know. And I showed them I was in it with them. So
Not for nothing, real quick. Not for
ahead.
nothing. A lot of times, though, a lot of these boys, I feel like they have a hard time expressing because they are being raised by expressive females. You know, we are emotional beings.
I see
so,
that.
You know, you see that, you feel that, and if that's the energy in the house, then unfortunately you probably be emotional as well. Not to say it's
Right.
a bad thing, but like as a man, like you said, you gotta control that. You
That's
gotta
true.
be protective,
Yeah.
provider. You gotta
Yeah.
stay in the forefront.
that's true.
But
Real talk.
I wanted to ask you: do you feel that it's possible for a woman to raise a boy into a man?
Well, I do like the fact that some of the women that are single moms in our communities make a really good effort to do so, right? Now, I'm careful to give a blanket statement to that,
I feel you.
right? Because I've seen some powerful, strong Black women in our community. I ain't saying it can't be done, right? But I do applaud those efforts. And I look, I was raised by a single mother, right? And a lot of things I had to go out here and learn on my own that my mom couldn't teach me, you know. But that I think if my father was there, it's just no substitute for a father really being there and carrying that role, and for the women that have to carry that, that's a huge burden, right? It's difficult, right? And so, man, we was just talking about the ingenuity of our people that when the laws were set up for us to not know how to read, and still we did that,
Right.
right? And we accomplished that. So I'm careful to say that, you know, what a woman can't do, right? Because I remember days when I was growing up, I ain't never really seen no female driving no big rig, and I'm like, you see it now, right? And so, so I applaud those women that do that, man. But I wouldn't go as far as to say that they couldn't.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, one thing I like about the Project Alpha, you know, when we do get the young men together, I like the adult breakout sessions.
Yeah.
The adult breakout sessions, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of adults
I got
right
emotional.
now is they need supports. A
Right.
whole lot of
The
supports.
right tools, the right resources.
And
for
to
sure.
say, because even at my job we have a saying is you got to take care of yourself before anything else can be taken care of. So we have a lot of adults right here that's off tilt.
Right.
Because they are off tilt, man. The kids are off tilt. The household is off tilt. You know what I mean? And now with everything that's in place in the world and the economy is squeezing the mess out of every single body that the parent do not have enough in them to go and chin check the kid, because I gotta worry about the rent, the electricity, the gas, the
I gotta
water.
work hard. I gotta
Yeah,
work two jobs.
I
and-
gotta work
yeah.
two jobs, man. And we trying to process all this stuff because we never been here before.
Right.
We never seen
Right.
it before. See, us when we was growing up, it was a time was had because we'll go next door, knock on somebody our next door neighbor door and be like, "Hey, our mama said, you got a cup of sugar?
Right.
You got a
Right.
roll of
Sure.
toilet
Right.
paper."
Yeah.
It was a
Right.
community-based thing,
Right.
and we done got away from community, but we need community because just like if you can't do it, I'ma step up and do it, and if I can't step up to do it, you gonna step up and do it. But
Right.
Muggs is so absorbed that we lost our community, man, and we're
Right.
starting to lose the kids, and the kids ain't, you know, they're starting to do their own thing, man. So
Right.
and a lot of times I ask that question of when we in school and these kids don't have knowledge, they can't read, they can't write, they can't count. Do we put that back on the parents at home, or we taking that to the schools?
Ain't no bad kids, bad parents.
That's a tough one, right?
You know?
That's a tough one,
That's
right?
on the
And
parents.
I say that you are correct in that, because it's always been known that, and everybody know this saying. When I drop this saying, everybody gonna be like, yeah, that's true, right? It takes a village.
It takes
right,
a village.
to raise a child, and so we need that community, right? And so we are suffering from a lot of economic stress, right? We're suffering from a lot of economic stress. from inflation is impacting everything, and impacting our bottom line at home. And it really does require us to shift our focus, right? And so when it comes to the education of the child, man, I talk to a lot of educators in school, in different schools, talking to educators. And one of the things I found out how they adjusted to it is by really not giving homework, because they realized that some students don't have the support at home.
Ain't no more homework.
Right? Ain't no homework. And they allow students to turn in work late, right? There's no late assignments, right? You don't do it now, we'll give you a week to get it done. Just get it done before the next unit it starts, right?
They give you a reminder?
They give you reminders and stuff like that. So they having a lot of mercy on these kids, right? And as an educator, especially those that's thriving off state money, off public money, right? They have to be careful of their approach, right? Because they're bound by state laws. So a lot of things that they say and a lot of positions that they take, it have to be really easy, right? Because they need the public funding to keep the schools open.
They do. But
So-
is that crippling the kids? Is that crippling
I
their
thought
minds?
that once, right? I thought that once, and man, that's a razor sharp edge on that blade, man. Because if we put more onus on the teachers, right, and then they gonna want more money, number one, and then number two, and it's like, well, I send my child to school with you more time, you are responsible, and then you get parents saying, hey, look, come up there in the teacher's face.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's like, wait, it's crazy. It's a double-edged sword that they're dealing with, and that's a really hard, difficult situation. It's hard, man. That should be another podcast.
Yeah, because
I feel like it's on the parents.
I'm a truancy officer, so I see a lot of this, and I want to say that like I said, a lot of parents need the supports. It's almost like saying they don't know, but you're a parent, but you don't know. But you said you grew up. If anybody that grew up in the 70s, 80s, and was a teenager or an adult in the 90s, you should know how this thing go.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
How did you fail your
Right.
kid? You failed your kid.
Like we
Man,
Especially if they had a baby. If you were 80s baby and you had a baby in the 90s and now your kid is a teenager now or something and they off tilt, man, you failed your kid.
So, a lot of this too is driven by the laws that govern our life, man. So, like when we had Baby Bush in office, right? George Bush, we had him in office. He instituted that No Child Left Behind Act.
I thought that was Barack Obama's wife that did that.
No, they modified it to Every Child Succeeds. So it's Every Child Succeeds Act. So the No Child Left Behind has been eradicated, and it was changed to Every Child Succeed, right? And it's still, and now that came about, right? And it took form of, well, now, when we was going to school, right? To get an A on your report card, you had to have above a 90%.
Yeah.
Right? Well, now that sliding scale on that grade scale has widened. It's now 80%. Right?
If it's 80%.
If it's a 60% used to be you was failing. I ain't want no 60. I was getting a whooping. Right? I go home, get a whoop. And right, and then now we can't do that anymore, right? We took whoopings out of the classroom. I don't know. Did y'all get a whooping in the classroom by the teacher?
No.
Y'all ain't
But when
getting,
I
you
moved-
just get
but when
told
I
up. What
moved
school
to
y'all go
Atlanta-
to?
Well,
When I moved to Atlanta for one semester, they was whooping kids. I never got one, but they was whooping them in their
No,
school.
you seen it, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
seen it.
yeah.
I did
It was a
get
big
teacher
long
spank
wood
my,
thing, and they
slap me on
had
the butt, though.
they're just,
Yeah. But I'm talking about I used to be in the closet holding books
Like
and,
we said-
getting
we used
spanked
to-
in the
we used to-
hand
we used to
with
do
the
that. We used to
rulers.
do that, yes.
Ain't
did a
no
lot.
more of that in the schools now.
No.
So here we are. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to make a statement about how we've said a lot about with the problem being the classroom about them teaching them. But we've said that a lot of times it be the behavioral. So that's why I feel like it starts at home.
It's both.
If I could teach
Training
my
does
child, if I
start at
could make
home.
my child a better student, a better character for
Right.
you to do your job correctly, then we both winning.
So why aren't
Right.
we doing that? What is going
Well,
on?
I'm
know
gonna
what
tell
they
you. I'm gonna
doing.
tell you. I attended a
I
lot of
don't
parent
play
teacher
around.
conferences at school. Do you attend a parent teacher conference?
everyone?
Now, when I go
Even
there.
if they got straight A's.
Right, and I go there, and what is you gonna hear this, right? It's for me. Your child go to one of U46 schools.
Used to. We in 301 now.
301. Okay, so let me know if this is the same.
Mm-hmm.
I attend those, and what I hear often when I start talking about them grades, the teacher say, "Oh, he's such a good kid.
Yep.
Oh, he got
Yep.
such a good behavior." I'm like, I'm not
Yep.
here. I already know that, right? I know that
Literally,
about my
you do
child,
such
right?
a good job with him. It's like,
right, and they try to
Cool.
deflect, right? They try to
Yes.
deflect, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, man, I'm here to talk about the grades.
Yes.
And I guess I don't know if they trying not to get me too
That's
stirred up
true.
or whatever, but they always talking about the
That's
beat. I don't care about that.
I've asked. I was like, how do I get him more inspired to read at home?
Right.
What are the tools and
Right.
resources to get him to want to read at home? We'll talk about that after the meeting.
That sounds so familiar. Right, that sounds so
I'm asking
familiar.
you questions about the class, and that's all they say is you're doing so good with him. He's
Right.
wonderful in the class. He listens. He comes on time. That's cool. I've taught character. That's
Right,
cool. I'm on
right,
him.
right.
What
Now
about
we
the
need
grades?
education now. Yeah, we need them
His
grades,
handwriting,
right?
ma'am. Is it on the line? Like,
Right.
That's true.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah,
And here we are at Alphas, and we say, go
Mm-hmm.
to school, go to college.
right. That's one of our national
true.
programs.
That's our national program. Go to school, go to college.
Right.
Is that dying?
Well, I think alphas exist to
No, I'm
make
not-
sure it stay alive.
We're gonna try our best to make it stay alive, but with the individuals that we are telling this to, is that
Well,
is that,
and
because
in
it-
our
it's
in
a-
our society, I've been hearing a lot about this when I talk to parents about educational funding, 529 plans, all these things, and I get a lot of questions when it comes to a 529 plan. And here it is, right here. You appreciate this. They say, "Well, what if my kid don't want to go to college?"
yeah.
Right, and so that's a real possibility now. Where once before, it was you don't have no choice.
Right.
Right, you going to college, right? And what college was preached, and now college is not being preached so much anymore,
Well,
right?
being-
It's all
kinda like
these
it's
different
being
alternatives
enforced.
now.
It's kind of like it's being enforced because they got everybody has to do FAFSA. You know what I'm saying? And then when you do, so here's the problem that we're facing. You got a lot of families, you got a lot of parents, and kids are watchers more so now than what we were.
Right,
They're watching their parents struggle, but their parents are saying, "Well, I went to school, I got a degree." And these kids aren't stupid. They're like,
Right.
well, that doesn't make sense.
right. They
Why are
put
you
two and two together
struggling?
quick.
You got a degree, but you're still struggling. So why would I want to do the same?
But it's
thing?
also
Right.
the comparison to social media and like the movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They
Right.
do glamorize. Like if you're a doctor, you drive this nice car, you do all these things. If you're a lawyer, you got the watches. They do glamorize certain titles and make you feel like
Yeah.
you're gonna have these things, and the kids look at you like,
Well, I think kids do aspire to be what they see.
Right,
You know what
true.
I'm saying? So
Right.
here I am. You got these
especially
people.
if they don't know.
Yeah, you got these people inside these classes. So like that's what I like about when we have the Alpha Project, because you got brothers that are what they say that they are.
Right.
You understand what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So in these
Doctors, yeah,
schools,
yeah.
in these schools, you don't have people who are what they say that they are, man.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So that's the problem. We don't have individuals in these positions that are what they say that they are. So these kids can see them, they can touch them, they can relate to
you
them.
can't lie to no
You
kids.
understand?
So
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
we talked
Baby
about
boy.
that. We talked about that as a fraternity. Now I know you had asked me to introduce my chapter. So my chapter is Mu Alpha Lambda of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and we're seated in DeKalb, Illinois, as on the campus of Northern Illinois University, and. We do a lot of community outreach there, and one of the things that we talked about there was the educational system, and it's like, well, and because of that very reason and the very fact that you said that there's a lot of people in there that's not what they say they are, and it's mainly because of the economics, right? A lot of people don't want to go to school to be teachers anymore because hey, ain't no future in that, right? How am gonna pay my bills when I'm seeing teachers on TV constantly going on strike?
No, for real.
You know what I'm saying? Like, man, how are they paying their bills, right? And so you probably have some parents saying, hey, you might want to be careful about being a teacher, right? And there's not a lot of teachers, especially, man, you talking about elementary school or middle school teachers, they don't get paid that much.
Yeah. Byron, you are from the west side of Chicago.
Yes, sir. Born and raised.
Born and raised. How did you make it out?
Man, you know, I was just talking to some folks about this recently, and you know, I'm gonna tell you, man, like it's not easy, right? When you're faced with some difficult circumstances, and coupled with that is a lot of peer pressure, right? And so sometimes, man, you have to, and what I had to do, and what I encourage some young people to do is, and this is why I like to mentor young men about peer pressure, because peer pressure is a real thing, right? And I had to learn how to separate myself from my friends, right? And my mother helped me with that. Right? Because every time I got ready, I was 13 years old. Every time I got ready to walk out the door, she lectured me to death. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't go here. Don't do this. And make sure you're doing this. And make sure you're thinking. And make sure, and you know, and when two people arguing, ain't nobody from a distance gonna know who the fool is. So you make sure you got some sense. Look, you see, I still got all this in me, right? And so that's what I walked out of the door with. So I had to learn how to separate myself because I was more afraid of my mother than I was of my friends, right? And so, and it was because I got beat down, and I was like, look, I need a peaceful time at home. I ain't trying to be on punishment. I like to go outside, right? And so, man, so I did, man. I had to learn how to separate myself from my friends, even physically, where I moved out of state for a little bit, right? And so I can learn how to be me and be confident in me, and then I came back to my friend group where that I was able to dissolve that peer pressure.
Yeah, I like that, man. And you know, some of the things that we talk about at Alpha Project is getting the young boys to understand, like, hey, you got to learn to be you,
right,
and not your homeboy,
right,
or old boy over there.
Right.
And see, you had to get out of that environment to learn how to be you, to really learn your likes and your dislikes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your triggers and your coping skills, and then you get all these things, and then you come back home.
Right.
What would you tell an individual who can't get out of that to find themselves?
Right. And so I would tell them, you know, come to Project Alpha, right? Stay close to what we're doing, right? Don't disconnect and think that this ain't for you, right? Because we're talking about skills like that, how to be a man and how to handle yourself in difficult situations, right? And also with managing decisions that they have to make. Now, along my path in life, right. And so I want to make sure that this is clear, right? Because you asked me about me, so I answered that question, but I left out a key part, right? That I didn't do it alone, right? I remember there was men in my life like Malik Yoba.
Okay.
Right? Along my path, you know, he was able to speak into my life. I met him, and you know, God allowed me to, you know, cross paths with him while he was real famous on TV. Okay. Then there's another man named Kelvin Easter. He was a pastor and who living on the south side right now in the south suburbs. And, you know, these men, they spoke into my life, you know, when my own father wasn't there. Yeah. You know, and so I held fast to what they said. And so now the onus is on me now, right? To be that Malik Yoba to another young man, right? To be that Kelvin Easter to another young man. And so I'm happy to do that. And that's what we're here for. So, you know, if y'all some young people out there watching, you know, come on out to the Boys and Girls Club on Dundee and Elgin. June 27th, that's Saturday. Yeah, I'm asking y'all to get up early, but I'm gonna feed you, right? I'm gonna feed you. And we're gonna have some fun, and we're gonna talk about these skills. We're gonna develop these skills, and it's not just a one-time thing. You know, we're gonna have some fun while we learn it. This is something that we do every year, and so I would say come out, get connected to other good men like Jay Roby and some of the other men that we have in this fraternity that can help you to manage those things and skills that you're not taught in schools. We are happy to do that.
Yeah, and it's funny because just sometimes, we
I don't know. Did I say 8 a.m.? Come out at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Yeah, 8 a.m. Y'all come out at 8 a.m. You know.
I knew it was early.
Yeah, early. It's early. Come on out early. We're gonna feed you. 8 a.m.
And I don't want fathers to feel offended or feel like that emasculated because another man stepped up.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes you may not be in position. Sometimes you may not know what you might need some guidance yourself. And it's okay for another man who might be your peer to show you the ropes. Like swallow your pride, man. We in this together. I'm not finna go and talk bad about you because I don't want you to lose.
Right.
Your son is watching you. But if you can't make it, bro, I'm not gonna let your son jump off the cliff.
Right.
As a man, I can't do that. Like you said, you crossed paths with several guys in your life that spoke to you, that spoke life into your life.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's part of the Alpha Project where they might, because we live here in Elgin, we'll see a lot of these guys, and of course I'm part of Kappa Chi Lambda that's up in North Chicago.
Yeah, them our brothers right there, boy. Yes, sir. Got love for y'all brothers.
But that doesn't mean that, for the young brothers that's here, that I won't be a big homie to. I won't be a big unk to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I will. I'm not going to. What kind of man would I be if I sit here and watch several young men jump off the cliff and I got life jackets?
So let me say this too, right? Let me say this to your point that for any men out there that feel like that, right? So the reality is that, I got a 15-year-old son, right? And I think I be doing a pretty good job. But the reality is young men don't always listen to their parents.
Absolutely not.
Right? That's the reality, right? You need somebody else to speak into your kid life, right? Like for real, you care about your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, try somebody else. Let somebody else who they will listen to speak into their life. And I just want to drop the registration phone number, man. Y'all out there.
Sure.
Yeah, if y'all out there, y'all want to come and join Boys and Girls Club, you do have to register for Project Alpha. There's some registration forms that we ask you to fill out and to get that process started. Right, you can give us a call at 847-608-5017. That's area code 847-608-5017. Just ask when you call that number. Whoever answer the phone, just tell them that you want to register for Project Alpha, and tell them Byron Furs sent you.
Yes, sir.
Brother Furs, yes, sir.
I love that. I always think it's just interesting when men are continuing learning, like learning about yourself, learning about the world, how the world move, and then even though you are the teacher, you're still not afraid to learn from other men. Like it's still a cycle. Like you can't just sit there and be like, I know everything and I'm just gonna do this. Like no.
Yeah. And we got to be careful of that too, right? We got to be careful of allowing our young people to think that way. That I'm self-made. Oh yeah, I did this on my own. Yeah, I'm doing this on my own. I don't have to listen to nobody else. Right? Nah. We were made to need one another. Real talk. We were made to need one another. Did I strike a nerd?
I asked Roby a couple weeks ago if a man, but we were talking about it together, and if men needs a woman, if it's required, if a man needs a woman in his life.
Oh, certainly. God baked that in. He baked that into the equation with Adam and Eve. Soon as Adam was born, he looked at Adam, right? Now that access the preacher in me. Now I said I want to call to that role, so I'm gonna be brief here, right? but you can read that in Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2. God looked at Adam and said, "Man, listen here, man. You ain't." What I got for you is gonna be too much for you, man. You need some help. You need to help me. Lay it down, sleep, man. Yeah.
You got too much on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
That's not a
And
healthy.
and especially, man, with raising children, we can't do what they do. Real talk. I ain't even trying to,
Well,
right?
vice versa.
that goes back to the question that she asked. So I guess when you say, can a woman raise a boy to be a man, it's a twofold type of situation to an extent.
What do you mean?
You can take them to you can take them to a certain level, and then from that certain level. So let's just say from,
And you're putting this as in a relationship.
I guess,
Okay.
let's just say from the time your child was born to he's about 14, 15 years old. By the time he get about 14, 15 years old, his daddy got to take him.
Okay.
Because it's going to be some things that he has to
Very
learn.
true. Very true.
You understand what I'm saying?
Now the opposite is also true, right? The opposite is also true, right? That I have daughters,
Yeah.
right, and there's some stuff that I can't teach them,
100%.
right? There's stuff I can't teach them, but later on in life, now when I'm comfortable, right, as father, that allowing some young men to come into their life, now.
Pass the torch.
right now dad can come in and now be a little more assertive, you know what I'm saying, to be a little assertive right there, and now teach us some game and how to deal with things like we talked about off camera, right? That man, sometimes it's tough for our women, right? The guy try to come on to you, make a pass, and even if you're nice and say, nah, I'm okay, and then you get the a brash reaction. So we gotta teach our daughters how to deal with that as men. That's something we could do.
Yeah.
And definitely just like when you get to that point, being there throughout the entire process, because even if they get past the highs, they could get in a relationship and men they get a little crazy, get a little manipulated, and they there for their intentions is weird. And as a father, to have someone in your corner to protect you from that type of energy, that's everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. That's what I try to do that for my daughters.
For sure.
Hey, man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Look at that.
for sure.
That's all right, because
can slip that.
we can agree to disagree and still be cool.
Yeah, I know.
Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I was just hanging out with my daughters in LA this past weekend, man. That was cool.
Nice,
That was a fun experience, man. My daughter, my oldest daughter's 26.
Okay.
And she took me to one of Issa Rae restaurants that's owned by Issa Rae.
Okay.
Yeah, where she filmed some of her movies in there, man. There was some
That's
good food up in there too,
nice.
up in LA. Boy, we was kicking it.
That's
Well,
nice.
it all goes back to
Issa Rae is
the
staple in
girl is going to take care of dad in the end.
Oh, well, yeah, man, for sure. Now, that goes back to what she said. Do we expect that? And it's like, man, I kind of do, because like man, if I'm in a place and my wife is not there, you know what I'm saying? If I survive my wife and, and my daughter's there, it's like, man, come see about your dad, you know what I'm saying? Because girls are usually, now my son, I got to be honest, I don't expect him to do that, because that little dude, he might be like, nah, Dad, I remember when you ain't buy me them cleats.
You was late picking me up.
You told us, nah, I couldn't go out, but it's usually the girls. I see it a lot in my family, man. A lot of my aunties and what my mom did.
Yeah.
It's usually them that's being the caretakers, when we get old, man. I like to have that.
So the phrase, twice the child, once the adult.
Okay.
That's real, man.
Yeah, it's certainly real, man. It like for real, man. And hopefully, man, that and prayerfully, God allow us, that amount of time to be able to see that and experience that in life,
Yeah,
For sure.
Hope you was nice to your kid.
Right.
No. Furthermore, being nice. I hope you raised your kid the right way.
The right.
Because shoot, man, yeah, boy.
Yeah, real talk.
Man, it's crazy, man. It was some stuff that I was getting ready to say that just really slipped my mind, man. It might have been madness.
It might have been bananas.
might have been complete bananas. Oh, we had a young boy, a young man, I will say. He came into the barbershop today. And he came in, he had a smile on his face. He had his Navy shirt on. And he came in there and he told one of the barbers, said, man, I just wanted to come back and tell you thank you
Mm.
always.
Mm.
And I just stood there and it's like, this boy just finished boot camp for the Navy.
Mm.
And they guess they call it like Liberty, where you get a couple hours out.
Yeah.
So he drove down from Great Lakes, came to Lincoln Ave, said thank you.
Man, that's what's up, bro.
I don't know.
That's
I
what's
don't know
up.
if those dudes. I don't know. Them my mans in them. And I told them, I said, did y'all see what just happened?
Right.
Do y'all understand what just happened? This little boy who been coming in the shop ever since he was a little pup.
Right. Right.
Now he a grown man. He done went on, ventured off, and he done went to Navy. And he came back, and he's standing there, and he's standing there proud, chest out. I want to say thank you.
Man, that's powerful, right? With the time, with his Liberty time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe an hour 15, maybe an hour and a half away. You know, he made that trip.
Made that trip, bro.
Just to come give back, man. That's what life is about, man. That's why we do what we do in our frat, man. We got to give back to our community, man. And we give to them, to these communities that gave so much to us, and then we give it back,
Yeah.
So that was a blessing to hear that. That just blessed me, right? That just blessed me.
And it be the small. It's what's so funny though, bro, is that it's true. When I was a child, I thought like a child.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now that I put my childish way behind.
Right.
And as I grow older, certain little things, man, make me feel like I got onions around.
Yeah.
Because it's sentimental.
Right.
The value of different things, like what just happened in the shop.
Right.
Somebody might have went over some head, but this young man remembered us.
Right.
He remembered the
Right.
conversations.
He remembered the impact. Yes, sir.
The impact alone.
Yes,
for him to
sir.
come back and say, hey, I want to say thank you.
Right. Right. No doubt.
He didn't have to stop at 50 North Dundee Avenue.
Right.
Could have kept
Right.
on going with his
Right.
homies.
Right.
But the fact
No
that
doubt.
that man stopped in there and to say thank you,
Right.
that meant the world. I was, man.
Yeah, man. I was thinking about that, man. It's like, when young men start to understand that as a young man, as a young person, we thought we knew, we thought we had it, right? And we was actually going astray. And then somebody was dropped on our journey and say, hey, you're going the wrong way, go this way.
Yeah.
Right. And then they actually follow that path.
Yeah.
And I like that story because not all of our youth are bad, man. Not all of them are misguided. Sometimes it's just immaturity and they want to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then when somebody stop by in their life and say, hey, go this way, and then they follow that path, man, and they like, man, and they realize that, man, I wouldn't have went that way if bro over there at Lincoln Avenue Barbershop, man, wouldn't have stopped me and said,
Yeah.
go this way,
And I got another one, and I've been on his butt for the longest. And he used to come into the shop. So you ain't been going to school? I said, come here, man. I used to tell him this all the time. I said, see that red building up the street? Yeah. That's where you're going to be at. That's where you're going to be at. And he ended up there. And then, but I stayed by his side, bro,
Okay.
10 toes. Because if I'm here, I got to be here,
And what's the
right?
red building?
Central. Dream Academy.
Oh, okay.
Alternative
Yeah.
school, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So he went from South Elgin High School to this school, and he always say, "Man, Roby, you always said that." He said, "Man, you said I was gonna be there, but I didn't. I just took things for granted." And I say, "Listen, bro, you got an option. This is your option. Either go to the service or go work on a cruise ship. Because if not,
Right.
man, you're just gonna be out here killing yourself doing drugs and alcohol with your so-called homies. And
Right.
you're gonna see in a couple of years that them boys gonna fade to black."
Right.
And he signed up, bro. He signed up for the Navy. He got in, and that light clicked in his head, just like how you said.
Yeah.
Bing. And he
Right.
saw the value. He started to see
Right.
the value in himself.
Right.
You understand what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
He started to get a little bit more spunk, getting more a little finesse about himself. like I got something. Okay, I'm gonna go. You know, yada yada. And I was like, all right, bro. And the day he left, text him, hey, check it out. It's gonna be hard. Don't you come home.
Right, don't
said,
quit.
Roby,
Yes, sir.
I got sugar honey iced tea to prove.
Right, yeah.
I said, my man.
You know what? It's like I like that story too, right? Because the power in that story is in this, and I hear a lot of stories like that. That's why I developed this philosophy, and I always say this, that sometimes life can teach a better lesson than we can as parents.
100%.
Right. So let me ask y'all, both of y'all parents. Let me ask you. I know you mentor some, but are you willing to? And then this kind of take things back to the our opening conversation too, right? Are you willing to allow your kid to learn some lessons from life?
I'm a firm believer in life lessons.
I'll be sheltering the mess out them.
You a helicopter parent. Oh my
I'm so scared. My son.
Is that what? Because I've been hearing my friends say I don't want to be a helicopter. I'm just like, what is he talking about?
Right.
That's
Yeah.
what,
My son been through a lot. He lost his dad when he was 8. He broke his elbow one time from a kid pushing him off of a fence. So just like things like that, I'm just scared for things to happen.
I was about
in
to
the
say that.
world.
Like, yeah, that's
So
kind
I
of more
really-
you. Yeah.
I try to I really do try to shelter the mess out them so they don't have to go through it. And when they do, I just be heartbroken for them.
Yeah.
Like, nah.
So
I'm honest,
so then what about your philosophy then on Deion Sanders teaching his sons a hard lesson? You agree with that or you don't?
I don't.
See, I knew it.
I'm probably a hypocrite because I ain't gonna lie. Though, with me, if I had the funds like that and my child struggling, it's like, here, baby. on,
Okay,
don't
you go
struggle.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
so no
finally.
bankruptcy. No,
No
right. No bankruptcy. He ain't gonna be in the
bankruptcy,
news for bankruptcy. Yeah.
Lesson learned. No, we're gonna learn the lesson later probably because I'm scared for them to just go through things. Like I keep them in the house. They don't go nowhere but grandma's house. They don't go to friends. Like I'm right behind their back. Like, I'm scared.
All right. Well, bring him to Project Alpha. Okay.
No, I do.
Yeah. Bring him to
and I ain't gonna
Project
bring
Alpha.
him
Let him
He
sign up.
went to the one at Larkin High School. He was about 11 at that time, but
Yeah.
they taught. It was at the perfect time for him. It taught a lot of stuff that him and his homeboys was in the car just talking for hours about.
And by the way, you can still be around. You ain't got to drop them off and leave.
Right.
You want that
I
comfort.
say- yeah,
you on the helicopter a little bit.
No,
we
for
got a
real.
space for you.
And the one for Larkin, I thought it was drop them off and leave. I went inside because I'm like, no, I want to see who these people are and shake their hand and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just turned out that we weren't able to stay. So I
think
stayed.
I remember seeing you.
I stayed.
I think I remember seeing you there. I think
Yeah.
you ran me over in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I just
I
want to
think
clear some stuff up. My bad for mispronouncing. My dyslexia is crazy. I see things in the opposite order.
Yeah.
It's called Project Alpha. I'm sorry, I said Alpha Project.
Alpha Project, yeah,
In my
yeah.
mind be tweaking
Right,
out
yeah.
sometimes, but it's Project Alpha. In my heart of hearts, I know.
Right, yeah, for
You know?
sure. Yeah, for sure. Right, nah, man, look,
Yeah.
what nobody known if you wouldn't said nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's all good.
Yeah, I
though.
just wanted to clarify that because you
Right.
know a couple things just happened, so I just want to make sure
Right.
that's clarified. You know,
Yeah,
what I'm
nah,
saying,
real
that
talk,
I'm not
yeah.
disrespecting the bros.
When
and whatnot,
when my
so-
son do make a mistake though, it's crazy because I'm just thinking about it now. Because when he like make a mistake on the field, first thing I was telling my sister, I feel like first thing he do is just look at me. He'll
yeah.
make a mistake, get up, and he'll look at me like, you
Oh,
saw that? What you like? what?
Cause you be on them.
He
Yeah,
was like,
helicopter.
Yeah, I'll just be. I don't know. I
Yeah,
let up a
you
little
got
bit.
you got to let up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let him do his thing. My son used to do me like that. My son, football player, he used to do me like that. And I started preaching to him, be a little more individual, right? Be you. You know, you
Trust
get out
yourself.
there, trust yourself. Don't worry about it. I don't expect you to be perfect, you know. And I do expect you to play hard and stuff like that. That's where I got that from when I was coaching these other young men. It was just principles that I was teaching my son at home,
Yeah,
right?
same.
Same type
Same.
of stuff. And he stopped doing that. He get out there and he play. And I even tried to tell him like, hey man, look, whatever you got to do, you just you be an athlete because when you're an athlete, it's not like you are walking around as a regular person, right? It's a different part of the brain when you out there.
He don't spend the night at friend's house on game nights. He go to bed on time.
Yeah,
he
he need that. Yeah, he need that.
Athlete mindset.
Yeah, it's definitely. You know what I mean? So yeah, let him have a little freedom out there where he can. You know, you don't want him every mistake. He feel like he did something wrong because
that's true.
Stuff go wrong all the time. You may think a guy going right and then he juke you and go left. You know, it's hard, right? It's hard. Sometimes the ball not thrown right because of something else. It's always something, you know. So yeah, give him a little grace. Give him a little grace. Give him a little grace, Mom.
Got you.
Slow that what the propeller down. You know.
Well, I raised my nephews.
Kids are different these days.
My philosophy was like on Monday nights, it was either Monday or Tuesdays. You know what I'm saying? We'll do family night, you know what I'm saying? Sit down, have conversations with them. And, you know, I always told them, like, you know, it's like an eagle. An eagle will take their offspring up and they'll let them fall. And if you don't start flapping them wings, they're not going to let them hit. They'll come and scoop them and they'll bring them back up and drop them again. So I told them, I said, y'all got to learn how to fly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even in my relationships, bro. You know, the old lady, I'll be like, hey, listen, I'm not going to do everything. Because if I'm not around, I want you to know how to do it.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Real
I think
talk.
it's just one of those things where I don't want nobody to be dependent on me.
Right.
I'm going to help you along the way, but don't be dependent on me.
But I do get frustrated. I'm like, dang, I was calling mama the whole time. Mama always there.
You got to be careful. That might be what you're teaching.
Yeah,
it might be what you're teaching.
So, look at me reading myself.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So man, let's plug this one more time so you know everybody will know. June 27th at the Elgin Boys and Girls Club on Dundee Avenue. We're having Project Alpha starting at 8 o'clock to what time?
1 p.m.
To 1 p.m. Sign your sons up, man. You know, moms, get y'all sons out there. I'm gonna be posting a flyer on my page so y'all can get y'all kids out there. Ness, bring your boy.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
And that time doesn't
we're gonna have some raffles. We're gonna have some prizes. We're gonna have some food. You know what I'm saying? Everybody gonna come away with something. You're gonna come away with something. You know what I'm saying, for yourself, or some knowledge or some wisdom.
Sure.
You'll come away with a mentor, a friend, right? Another friend, a peer mentor. Like man, it's man. Look, you gonna be well blessed at the end of the day when you leave. Come on now and fellowship with us. This is what us alphas do.
Real quick, one thing that I did learn that I still do to this day from the last meeting, we was told to like be on the school. You know, make sure that you are looking at the paperwork and you know things that they are doing with your child in school. And there was one time that the school had told me that another child said that my son was bullying him. And they was like, we don't think he is, but, you know, we do got to write it up, By the end of the school year, I was like, y'all got to take that off his record. You know, ain't no bully, ain't none of that. So that's one thing that I definitely still consider. There was another thing where they was like, make sure you build your community. I try to do that with him. Like, as much as I am a helicopter mom, I know that only me saying what I say, it's not doing much. Like you said, most time kids not just listening to their parent.
Right.
So I've said this plenty of times on here. Like I do try to get other resources around him to try to trust their word and, you know, make sure what they telling him is correct, of course. But I can't be the only one who's saying it.
That's
can't be the only one. So this is a very good opportunity for everyone. So for sure.
Y'all hear that? That's from the mouth of a parent who lived it, who been through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bring your kids out. Again, y'all can call 847-608-5017. Let them know you want to register for Project Alpha on June 27th. Tell them Byron sent you. Tell them bruh Roby sent you. Tell them Vanessa sent you. You know what I'm saying? Let them know you want to sign up, and we're going to meet you there. You know what I'm saying? We're going to kick it. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn in a fun environment. We're going to network, build some friends. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna develop at the same time. All right, y'all come join us. We're excited about it.
Yes,
man. There's a lot of those brothers out in Elgin, man. It's more than I ever known before, man. Like,
it is.
It's a lot of alpha brothers out
I'm telling you, man, I love it. This is what I was saying. Like, man, I started when I moved out here. It's like, boy, that's all I seen.
A lot of alpha brothers.
A lot of alphas in the community. Hey, 06 brothers, if y'all
06.
watching, boy, man, stay in the community, man. Y'all doing it, man. Keep the light high. You know what I'm saying? No doubt.
For sure.
No doubt.
Les, what you got for us this week?
Y'all know it's gonna be hot out. Ooh. So everybody
Weather's changing.
definitely get outside and enjoy the weather. Speaking on the youth, there is a lot of gyms that are having youth summer camps coming up. I know Cross Kicks Fitness has one. They have like their free kickoff event is this Sunday at 12 o'clock. It's for athletes between the ages of 13 and 17. I know Iron Lab Gym is having a youth camp. I don't have the dates for that, but it's on my Facebook page. Y'all get these athletes some type of training. It don't even have to be training. Get them pumping and working this summer, because for real, basketball over with, football over with right now. You know, a few of them play baseball, a lot of them don't do track, so they're not really doing nothing during this time. So get to work. Stay ready, so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah, that's right. Cross Kicks, they fire too. They're gonna help you with your nutrition, man. Jesse, he decent over there.
They good.
Real talk. Them my people.
Y'all also know it's Pride Month. Festival Park got a Pride Festival this Saturday. It's all day from like 11 to 8, I think. But it's all day. Festival Park got their Juneteenth. They also got the Greek Fest downtown Elgin this weekend from Friday till Sunday. Festival Park will have Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie playing at Festival Park this Friday. That is so nice for the kids. Y'all definitely go out because they have popcorn out there. They'll have some drinks, some ice cream. It's a real nice vibe. And just being down there by the river, it's just a real nice vibe. Take the kids down there. I do honorable mention Juneteenth coming up. It's coming up 2 weeks from now, so y'all make sure y'all make y'all plans. It's a lot of things that's happening Juneteenth weekend. That's Father's Day weekend. Definitely show love to all the men in your life. Let them know that we love them for life.
Do you love me?
So y'all plan that now. I want y'all to start planning that now, for real. Start planning that now. But yeah, other than that, y'all stay outside. Get outside. For sure. Don't stay in the house.
No doubt.
Yo, to next side, be looking out for the Alpha Project Alpha banner that's gonna be going on my page. To next side, man, peace and blessings.
Country promo like I still got a pocket full of crack. All they do is fight for number 2, cause I'm the one. Still make it play with the one. All we know is success. Hit her with some rich sex. Good looking your bitch back. She forever mine till I let her go. Better know, let 'em know. Better know, let 'em know.